You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Mega Pencils. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Oh, and happy Monday.
My energy levels might not be up to snuff, but they are higher than they were last week.
I was going to say, a little bit from last week, yeah. I overslept today, so up in time.
Yeah.
But, you know, humans, well, I do. Certain period of time where you're just like, got to wake up or you feel hungover or something in the morning. Just me? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I might want to I think I need to take a break. I know this is going to sound like I'm some drug addict or something like that, but no, the things, the Delta things that I take to kind of mellow out, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened Friday, but I had a bad reaction.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, I don't remember much of Friday after a certain point, and I do remember losing my dinner, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
I think I have a theory as to what happened.
Okay,
and I could be wrong, but to me it makes the most sense because I was feeling pretty good.
Sure.
Pretty good. And then we were watching a movie. The movie was over. And then there was a catchy tune at the end. So I started boogieing down, you know. Like,
As
this
you
is
do,
hell
yeah.
I was dancing. I was rocking. I was shaking my head.
Oh.
And then dizziness set in. And then I was like, whoa. And then from that point on, I could not collect my bearings. So everything was always one step too far this way, one step too far that way, and woo boy. I mean, the world was spinning.
Wow. So like knocked your equilibrium off, huh?
Oh, completely. Like the only time I was okay, like I felt like I was all right, is when I was kind of had my head in my hands, just leaned down.
Did you have a drink also, or just that?
Well, I had a singular beer, but I've done that before.
Sure.
And
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, no.
Usually, like the other is supposed. Well, I guess I don't know as much as CBD or whatever, but like THC and stuff can help calm your tummy. If you're, certain patients would get it, so they'd stop throwing up, keep food down.
Yeah. No, this was I felt like I was tripping too, which is weird because as I was trying to kind of keep my bearings and collect myself, I was having some weird images run through my head. And my eyes were closed. It's not like I was seeing stuff around. And that was the other thing too. It's like I did not want to open my eyes. Like the light was just like... And I was just,
like a little migraine maybe?
Maybe.
Did your head hurt?
It hurt the next day.
Because like with migraines, light, very sensitive, you can get real sick to your stomach.
And maybe that's what it was.
Because I've had a few in the past, and it was basically me just staying on the bathroom floor because it was nice, cool, and dark.
Yeah.
And then if I had to throw up, I'm right there.
Well, I crawled into the shower and just like sprayed myself down with cold water. And that helped for a little bit. But then I was still in the shower. And my brain is like, you have to get out of here. You have to exit the shower at some point. And I'm like, but I don't want to. And it's like, yeah, but you can't sleep in here. Try to get to the bed. You know.
I'm like, well, as long as it's not a tub filling with water, you could maybe sleep there.
And the worst part about that is like I finally made it to the bed, and I sat there again, head in my hands, just trying to. As long as I didn't move, it was like, you don't move, everything's cool, dude. And I didn't move, and I thought, well, let's try to slowly lay back. And as soon as my head goes up, and as I tried it, that's when it all just kind of came back at me. And I was like, oh God, no. So it was terrible.
I'm really thinking that's what it was. You might have had a headache a little bit, maybe jarring it around, did it? But it sounds like maybe.
I think jarring it is because I was rocking out pretty hard.
Going out to town.
Just, yeah. And then it wasn't too much longer after that is when the world started spinning. And I was like, whoa, okay, I didn't care for that.
Isn't it sad that now, like, we're so old we can't even rock out, that our body revolts for a day? Like, all I wanted to do was headbang, man, to a good song.
Yeah. I was wanting to have fun, and then it all got ruined because I wanted to enjoy this tune.
Oh, man.
I hate it.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no bueno. Migraines or whatever that was, that's just not fun.
I think it was just a combination of things. Just a lot of things. And damn it,
Damn it. Yeah.
Because it ruined
it
ruined my Saturday because all day I just felt blah. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Well.
But besides that, I was trying to enjoy my week. I did want to ask you this. I don't know if this would be something that would interest you at all. Mm-hmm. And I just recently found out about it. I was curious about it, and I haven't watched it all. I've been kind of watching it in pieces just as I'm doing something or whatever. But I think it's kind of cool. Paramount Plus put out the 25th anniversary concert of South Park. And
did they?
What this is apparently there was a concert held in Colorado, and I can't remember the town name, but it's wherever Trey Parker grew up.
Okay.
And I have never seen a coliseum like this before in my life. Like, I want to go to Colorado to see I don't give a shit who's there. I just want to see a concert in this
was it
amphitheater.
Red Rock?
It might be, because it looks like it's built into the mountain.
And like you can, yes.
And then
I've seen that venue.
They do the light shows and stuff and pictures up on the wall or on the side of the mountain or whatever. And I had never seen anything like it. And I was like, holy shit, this is an amazing venue. I would love to see a concert here.
Yeah.
So,
and then South Park does it. That's kind of funny.
And they even kind of mentioned, it's like, we never thought in a million years growing up around here that we would be here.
Right.
Singing.
Doing this?
And he started, he's like singing, and then he starts singing Uncle Fucker.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, who would have thought? Right here.
Who would have thought you'd get such a gorgeous venue for poop jokes? Yeah.
But so far, they've, from what I've seen, it's been kind of a treat. Even if you're a casual fan, I think you could enjoy it because it's not really just about them just kind of revisiting certain songs, like from the movie and from the show, because it starts off with Primus is there, obviously, since they're the ones who do the theme song. Ween is there. And they're like the two opening acts, just kind of rocking out, playing some tunes before Matt and Trey get out there. And then Matt and Trey get out there, start talking about where they grew up and all this jazz here. Mm-hmm. And then they start singing songs. And they'll kind of throw in little trivia bits here and there, talking about this and that. And then, of course, they get kind of sappy here and there, talking about this and that and where they are now. And there was actually one interesting bit that they did in there, and I hate to spoil it, but it's such a good moment that I want you to kind of go check it out, because I think just the emotion on his face, the look and everything was kind of fun. Is Trey was talking to the audience. He's like, we're about to bring out a very special guest. He started talking to Matt, saying, I love you, man. You've been here with me this whole time, and saying whatever he's got to say, praising him and whatnot. he said, well, we've got a very special treat for you that no one else knows about, or, and so we're going to bring these people out, or we're going to show you this clip. And they show a clip, and on the screen, it's to the South Park animation, and it's, it's Rush. I can't remember the names. For some reason, they're slipping my mind. Forgive me if you know who I'm talking about.
Are not my specialty anyway, so.
I blanked. Anyway, but they're there doing their little talking on the animation, and then suddenly it's just like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we could go play on concert right now? And then, of course, they come out on stage, and Matt's face, he's just like glowing. He's like, oh my God. Because they get to play with Rush.
Right?
Primus is there. Ween is there. Rush is there. And they're all playing. I mean, come on.
Right?
Come on.
Yeah. And then that venue.
Yeah. So it's been a delight just watching, everything going down. I think it would be fun to check out. And they did another rendition. You know that song that I don't know if you remember this episode. You ever remember the joke? They took her name. They took her name. They did it. Well, they did a rendition of that song, and ended it was like, Joe Biden took her name.
Oh God.
So that was a highlight.
Yep.
I recommend it if you're a fan or even a casual fan. I think it's fun, just because it's kind of a behind the scenes thing, because I wasn't sure what it was when they said concert, and I was like, oh, is it just like a clip show or something? It was like, no.
Well, I feel like they've really done a whole lot with South Park, more than I would have, thought. Yeah. Didn't they have some musical too that they were traveling with or something?
Well, I think are you talking about the Book of Mormon?
Oh, maybe I am.
Yeah. That was one that actually took off and was very popular.
Yes. I do remember when it was popular. I never went.
I never did either.
People who did, and sounds like I should have, because it sounded like it was a good time from the people I know who went.
Yeah, I think my brother actually went, and he said it was a good time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We need to be more cultured, I guess.
I just need to leave the house at this point. I used to go see lots of shows.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't in a few years. Need to get back out there.
Yeah, we actually saw. Come on, brain. Let's find words that create names.
That's the story of my life right now. That your existence right now is my everyday.
James Austin Johnson. He's the guy from Saturday Night Live that can do. He's a pretty good impressionist. He does their. See, he's not very well known, and I hate to say that about him, but he is such a great impressionist who needs.
Oh, he looks familiar though. Oh, he's like on now.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's the one that does Biden on there right now.
I will admit to you, I skip those because I'm over it.
Yeah, I mean
their political stuff. So when they're doing their Trumps and their Bidens now, I skip those skits because it's just let's move on. But. Yes, I do know he does.
Well, yeah, a few weeks ago, we actually went to go see him at our local Zanies, and
oh yeah, okay.
And he's actually from Nashville, so I mean, this is homegrown boy,
Okay.
And one of the main reasons I want to see him is because I wanted to see what his stand-up would be like, what other impressions he might have. Because the very first time I was introduced to him outside of seeing him on Saturday Night Live, like I'd seen him, but I didn't know who he was because I saw his Biden, and I was like, who's this guy? Huh, okay. And then he was on an episode of Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade. They were talking to him, and then he did this Trump impression, which was so fucking uncanny.
Oh, God.
Like, on point. Every little detail, every little nuance. I'm like, oh my God, that is
okay. But
insane.
that would just make me sad. I don't want to pay to hear this.
Right.
Come on.
But at the same time, now you get to hear, more ridiculous stuff than usual.
Sure. No, because he had that skit right where he's looking at the teleprompter and it's like literally just one long unhinged rant. And while creative, and I give you kudos for that, I am ready to move on from it. it lasts too long and we've added it too many times. But
yeah,
props where props is due, for sure.
So, I mean, in any case, it was a fun time. You know, I think the crowd had to kind of, I don't know what they were, I don't know, it was weird.
Well, Zanies, sometimes I don't think people know who's going to be there. It's just one of those clubs like, hey, want to go Friday night and see who's up?
Mm-hmm.
They may not have any clue who they're going to go see.
Yeah. And it just seemed like at first the energy level was kind of low, and then he slowly kind of built them up, which was funny because the two opening acts prior to him, the one girl, I know we'd seen her there another time before, so I'm going to assume she's a local act that does like openers. Mm-hmm. And then she was supposed to introduce his official opener, I guess whoever's touring with him, and she couldn't remember his name.
Oh.
Yeah, you talk about a burn.
What?
Yeah.
Please tell me that was a joke, though.
No.
No. Damn. That's
so,
rough.
they spun it around on her. So,
well, sure.
Sure.
As I would hope they would, because, damn.
And then...
You have two jobs.
Yeah.
I have to say two, because make them laugh. Remember your next act. Anyway, go ahead.
But, yeah, I mean, beyond that, it was an interesting night. I think this was the first time I'd been there... Because we went on a Thursday night, which we normally don't do, but it was just like, why not? You know, try something new, and kind of get a different vibe and energy for that time of the week. And it wasn't as crowded. We actually sat at the bar, which I'd never done. It was interesting.
Oh yeah.
And what's
I'm not sure if I ever have either of going to a Zanies.
What's funny about it too is, I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever been in like an older building? Because I know this is an older one. I don't know how long it's been.
Oh, shoot. Here in the city? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure how old this building specifically is, but if you look in town, there's a lot of closed businesses and stuff like that down that street. And, of course, there's newer things. Mm-hmm. But I just, sitting at the bar, just kind of looked up. And where the bar sits, there's a balcony right above it, you know, where other people can sit. But I'm just looking at the architecture and how they built it. And just sitting there thinking, it's like, just 30 years ago or however long, I mean, I don't know. Right. There's this fascination that goes through my head thinking about how long it's been, who has been here before me, all these little things. But
I can understand that. There's some like really cool stuff. I mean, shoot, come visit me, man. We have lots of architecture tours. If you like that, you'd probably have a heyday with some of those really cool ones downtown. And then you go to the other side where the shit's been there for 10,000 years. Yeah. Where you can actually see like where people live, where the cutoff from the flood or from the fire and everything, how they are actually like 6 feet lower. And then that you can see the differences there. So sucks for them.
What?
That's like a
I do need to make a trip.
Basement unit.
Yeah. Well, I do need to make a trip to Chicago.
Yes.
You know, because we keep saying this, and we've never actually we've been places
I've never
together.
Gone down there too.
I mean,
so
yeah.
That's fair.
But I mean, you've got. I mean, I guess Nashville is something.
Oh, there's lots of fun stuff around there, sure. And I just get to hang out with y'all, and it would probably not be as expensive. But well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Big cities anywhere is stupid expensive, but I just
depends on where
taxes.
We go. Yeah, I can probably drag you around to some less expensive, like hole in the wall kind of places that are outside of Nashville. You know, that would be the fun stuff. Going deep into the country.
I want to see what the locals see, as they always say. Yeah.
I could take you into the heart of Carthage, Tennessee, send you inside Walmart, and let you see the local yokels.
And then if I make it out alive to tell the tale, if I'm back in Walmart, it didn't work out, did it? No.
No.
I haven't been in one in a while, not because I'm elitist, just because there's none around me.
Hey, no. You don't have to explain.
I went to Walmart all the time. It's just when I hear in the city, where it's very pro-union. So Walmart, not so much in city proper. There's like Express, but I'm not going to drive that far for the Express.
I'm still working my record 2 years without a Walmart, and I do not regret it. I put my foot down, and I continue. And people
So
have
was
tried.
there a story?
I think I may have told you that when
You probably have.
because this was like when COVID was,
Oh, yeah.
and then
My
everybody.
sister said the same thing. She's not going back to Walmart. I haven't been in one in forever, so I didn't know the Target. Well, I don't know. I'm in a larger city. They tended to, at least frontward facing, pretend like they cared more. I saw lots of mask wearing, lots of everything, so it wasn't as ridiculous where I specifically live.
No, this was like harder, like in the depth of COVID. Like I'm talking 2020 summer. People were supposed to be doing the thing.
Right.
Vaccines were not even
a thing yet.
Yeah, so it was just like, my God, I had to go in there for something. I had my mask on. I was trying my damnedest. They had signs out there saying you have to wear a mask. People kept going in without masks. They had the lines saying you must go down this aisle. You've got to go down this aisle.
Yeah.
Directional. Nope. Nobody gave a damn.
Arrows are hard. And if I'm also honest with you, if I was making, $7 something an hour, I'm not going to fight with you all about your freaking mask either. I'll probably just leave. Like, I don't make enough to sit here and get into this passionate of a fight with someone over something like that,
Yeah.
So, again, another good reason to not go, because if no one's going to enforce it, which I don't blame them.
No. I mean, yeah, I guess I get it too, but it was just like, I can't deal with this level of stupid anymore, and I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to subject myself to it, because every time I come in here, I get stressed. I do still go to a Kroger because they have good deals, but at the same time, I'm starting to get fed up with them too, because they're people just, because I had to go yesterday, God damn it, having conversations in the middle of an aisle, blocking shit. And I'm like, take your conversation somewhere else. For God's sakes, people are trying to shop. Yeah. What are you doing? Just fucking move. And I'm trying not to be rude. Like, there was even a guy, and he saw me. He's, I didn't know who he was. He just made a casual comment. He's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm trying to get into this aisle, and I'm looking at these people, and he's like, do you need to get over something? He's like, I'm just trying to get through this aisle, dude. He's like, there's people in the way. I'm just trying to figure out what my game plan is. He's like, oh, all right. Because why? Why are you there? What are you doing? And then the worst part, this is another thing that they like to do too, is you get a crowded aisle. You're coming down one end, and then there's somebody else coming down the other end. So you're trying to get over. But then you've got that one person that just stops, and then they get in your way. Or maybe you're trying to look for something, and then they just decide, well, I'm going to cut right in front of you, because you're not standing right in front of you're just staring at it from the other side.
Yeah.
But I'm going to step in front of you and look, because apparently you're not looking either. And,
well, people's heads are firmly up their own buttocks most of the time when they're out doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I got trapped in this one aisle, and I was about to get irate.
Start screaming at the sky. Let me out.
Because I'm standing here, and I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at the exit of this aisle, and there's an idiot in front of me, and then there's idiots behind me, and then the idiots behind me are not looking to see if, hey, do you need to get out? They're just continue to go by, seeing me trying to move out, and they're just like, nah, I'm gonna go first.
Yep.
I hate people. I
know. That's why it's like at first with lockdown, I'm like, oh, this is great, and then now I'm just like, you know what? I've heard it's not gotten better, so I don't venture out as much anymore. But yeah. I can remember that with the arrows and stuff and people just going the wrong way. And I'm like, we're just never going to be able to collectively get that many humans to... It's like trying to get 1,000 cats to do the same thing.
Sure.
Humans are pretty much just as bad.
And in all fairness, I guess I could do the delivery or pickup thing. I guess the pickup, I don't think they do delivery out this way, but I could just put together my list, because I actually do that now. I'll add everything I want so I can see how much it's going to cost, or at least a ballpark.
Right.
And I could just move it over to the pickup and just order it. But then I've had to deal with those people in the store too.
Why? Shouldn't they just bring it out to your trunk?
No, I just mean in the store, the people
Oh.
filling these delivery or the pickup orders.
Yeah, but it's one person bringing it to your trunk as opposed to all the people in your way in an aisle.
But I'm talking about I have to deal with them in the store. As they're picking the order, they too are in the way.
So you mean like people, the workers that are shopping for other humans are in your way while you're in the store trying to do shopping?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This
Okay,
is like,
yeah.
and they don't have a cart. They have this big rack.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's in the way. And I understand they have a job to do. I got it. But damn,
Right?
you know.
I just want to get in and out. This is why you should only buy stuff on the outsides. The inside's all the garbage food anyway.
Yeah.
Freshest stuff's on the outside. Your sugared boxy crap is in the middle. So just avoid the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
I know. It's a nightmare.
It is. People
Gross.
suck as a whole.
People suck.
Putting us all together in like one huge thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Bad times. Anyway.
I have one other story, and then we're gonna talk about other things. But I feel like this is game related, and I'm telling this not as a brag. I'm telling this as a. I want to know what you would have done because I have this deep regret because you'll understand when I tell you.
Okay.
But also, you have to understand where I was coming from because I feel like you would understand. I have another PlayStation 5.
What?
Let me explain. At some point, because I did say that I wouldn't mind having another one for the bedroom, and my goal is I'd kind of keep my eyes open. If one happens,
Were you gonna do like a disc one and a discless or something?
I wanted to get the discless one for the bedroom and all that. So I'd been trying to kind of keep my eyes on the market, but obviously never.
I don't. Right. It feels like. Yeah.
Now, at some point, which I don't remember when, I apparently signed up at Amazon to get a notification of stock. The other day, last week, I had an email from Amazon. And it says, hey, act now. And I'm like, huh? Click. And it says, hey, you have 72 hours to get your hands on this PlayStation 5. If you want it,
hold it?
that's what it was saying. It was like, if you want it, come and get it. You got 72 hours. It's all yours, baby. And I was like, and I thought about it, and I was like, no, I can wait.
Yeah.
And then I let it go. Then the next day, I was like, but when the opportunity is there, you know, and when is it going to come back around? It could be another year. Look how long it took for you to see another one.
Looking.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really been actively searching, sure, but it's there. It's like walking into the store and you see it on the shelf. It's there.
Sure.
Take it or leave it.
I have to now, I think.
Yeah. So that's where I was at. My head was just like, come on. This is what, I mean, you got 48 hours, man. Come on. And I was like, sure. Yeah, sure. And I hit it. And it was like, all right, it's purchased. I was like, yeah, I got it. And then as soon as it said it shipped, I was like, oh, I regret that.
Was that the day it hit the credit card?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And it wasn't a discless one, mind you. It was the...
Oh, no?
No.
Yeah.
So I was like... but I have it.
Uh-huh.
I just, it hurt.
They always get you.
Yeah,
they
I know.
Always get you. You gotta act now. Gotta go fast. I'm impressed. 3 days though.
Yeah. I mean,
that seems strange.
Well,
it's like people are wanting it now.
But I think that's fair. I mean, just in case if you're trying to collect
if you
funds.
put money down to save it, sure. If it was just a notification, no, I don't understand that.
No, I put no money down. So
okay,
it was just
yeah.
all I asked for was like notifications. Should you have some in stock? Let me know. And they did. Again, I don't even remember when I signed up for it. I cannot remember.
Well, yeah. Because if you were signing up before you even had your first one, then that's been over a year for sure.
So I'm kind of under the idea that perhaps they've just been handing out like tickets, vouchers or something, being like,
Maybe.
Europe, you know, and
Interesting.
everybody else. So if you're looking to do that, maybe Amazon's a way to do it. Just sign up and maybe you'll get your notification.
Give him my money.
I know. It's just convenient.
I've made it very long. I'm pretending like my, protest is really breaking them over there. I gotta pretend, but yeah, that's a different topic.
But
Congrats, I guess.
yeah, I mean, hey, look at it this way: we're looking for those multiplayer moments now. You know, with the play. I've got 2 of them, so I can have one person on one person on the other. You ain't got to worry about me lagging behind.
That's true.
So
we're never worried about you lagging behind. We're pretty much the ones who have to keep up.
So hey, I'm happy that I got it, but at the same time, I'm just like, God damn that credit card bill.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I know.
I've been trying to.
Mine was a different one, but I know. Like, get your money. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back around to that momentarily. But until then, what have you been playing?
I have just decided to throw my entire life away on 2 Point Campus, and for whatever reason, it's just got its hooks in me. And I think I have 3 campuses left to 3-star. I was very proud of myself that I was able to figure out one, and then felt really dumb that it took me that long.
Yeah.
Because one goal, keep your staff at 65% or higher happiness. Steven, they would stay at like 62. Their rooms they're teaching in are freaking gorgeous. Your staff room was freaking gorgeous. I gave you raises. I'm like, what more do you people want? Why will you not go to 65% happiness? I was getting really freaking annoyed at this one thing that I needed left to 3-star. Little did I realize I could have just been training them to be happy, because you can train your staff and there's a couple of perks that you can train them in that's not necessarily for teaching but can aid in it, like inspirational speaking or comic timing. And then there's one that's happiness, just general happier person. I can't believe it took me so many days to go, you know what? And I just trained them all to be happy. And it's now that's a whole other weird thing we have to go through now. Like, get in that room and you do not leave until you are 50% more happy, you know? And so I just kept doing that over and over again until they finally were happy enough. Because my God, Steven, the amount of money I gave them, the places were gorgeous. I could not. What more do you want to be happy? I have food everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Just, I guess I just needed to do a little lobotomy. Get rid of that part of your brain that lets you know that this is work. And let's just do that. But I've been really enjoying the experience for some reason, more so than 2 Point Hospital. I'm not sure I ever finished that one. And I think because that one just got so chaotic. Eventually I'll get to the point where everything's too big and you want me to watch too much, and then I'm like, this might be where my enjoyment ends, you know, if everyone's going too cranky all at the same time. Once you're running on your own and I've 3-starred, I'm out, bitches, you know, like, you're on your own. But I just think it was really cute, the different ideas they had for the different campuses for the different things that we're teaching. You know, with the archaeology one, that was cute. Training them to be knights, you know, that was just cute. I even had one, what was the one I was trying to play last night? That a party school.
Party school.
That's all they want. Like, I get no funding from anywhere. As long as I keep them happy and partying, they'll fund me, the students. So as long as I keep having enough money to keep throwing parties and stuff, but I haven't figured that one out yet. I get to choose whatever topic I want for that particular one that I could, you know, teach. And you have a variety that I've unlocked at that point. And so I thought I was going to be smart and just make it easy mode for me and just teach general knowledge. It's 1 year, they're in and out, and it made sense for role playing for me. Party school, community college. I know that might sound I went to community college, but in my head for role playing, that made sense, right? But they're only 1 year. Come 2-star. Sorry, spoilers, guys. Because I'm sure everyone's like, no, Lay, spoilers on the 2-point campuses. But yeah, you can't. The 2-star one, you have to have like a level 4 club. And if you were only there for a year, it's just impossible for students to get that high in the clubs. Mm-hmm. So I was like, damn, I've already put so much effort into just the general knowledge. And it's just turn and burn. Like when people are leaving every year, I'm like, I'm going to have to start over. I need to pick a degree where they're at least, here for 3 years or more. And I was so sad. I thought I had it figured out. Easy mode. Ah, ha, ha. No, they got me on Star 2, and I already didn't even play in a while. But, yeah, if you like those types of games, I don't know. I've been having a great time with it. There's a few things they need to go back and polish for sure. Yeah. But it's not a mess. But it's just one of those where I'm having such a good time when they start to present themselves. You're like, oh, come on.
Right.
Now it's dragging and kind of taking me out of it. And then some other stuff, which I'll just talk about sort of a little bit later on.
Okay.
Because that, I mean, I've been all in, you guys. 2-point campus, my life. The hubs has seen the back of my head all weekend.
I got you.
Yep. But not in the good way.
Gotcha.
Anyway, what have you been playing?
Well, this is one of those days I would love to go on and on and on and on and on about what I've been playing. Mm-hmm. But I made a decision that I'm going to talk about it next week. Because I've got a lot to say about it. I will say that I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Oh, good.
And
always a plus.
Yeah, and it's making it much harder not to talk about it. Because I want to talk about it.
Because you're having so much fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's become... Example, this is when I know I'm enjoying a game, is when I sit down to play it, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to play it for a little while, and then I'm going to shut it off at X time, and then you don't, and you're just like...
And you look back at the clock, and you're like 2 hours later, you're like, son of a...
Yeah, and you're just like, all right, well, let me finish this one thing up. And then another hour goes by, and you're like, God damn it. Uh-huh. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Good. So I've got that. I do have some as positive as I'm sounding about it, I've come across a few negatives that are starting to irk me. Aww. So I'm kind of hoping there's some patches coming soon. Yeah, because it's bugging me. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of
curious now. Maybe afterwards we'll talk because I know the Hubs has been playing something that. I'm wondering if it's the same thing. But we'll wait. We'll wait. And maybe not. I could be wrong.
If got any Quicket news, anything like that?
Well, I thought this one might be interesting to chat with you because this was freaking huge.
Okay.
So remember us talking about the Embracer group, the ones that was THQ Nordic and then had done all those buying. Did you see the massive acquisitions they just pulled out this week? My freaking God, dude, this one's kind of nuts. When I heard this one last night, I knew for sure I wanted to chat with you about this one here. So they have in the last quarter here of 2022 Tripwire Interactive, Maneater, I know you play that one, Tuxedo Labs, Limited Run Games, which is the ones who do a lot of that physical copy stuff for people. Like, I was beside myself at just how many huge places, especially like I loved Limited Run just as people for collecting and kind of game preservation if you want your own physical copy of these things. But man, and they also acquired a retro video game company called Bitwave Games. When I was looking at the list going on and on and on, my God, what do you think? Like them having all of this, and I want to say one of the all of the Lord of the Ring properties or something with that. They can actually do
Really?
TV and show and stuff with it. I'm gonna have to look that one back up because they were, yeah, that was with Saber Interactive, but that was regarding Tripwire. But
yeah, that's
holy shit.
I mean,
like they're up there with the big boys starting now. They're trying to grab all of them up to like another Microsoft or another Sony now.
Now I would say that I mean, comparatively, these are smaller developers, but still, that's a lot to kind of gather in.
And that's some quality stuff right there too that they're grabbing up, you know, or that will be coming with it because of just the quantity of games that came with a lot of these people. Anyway, I just wow. I just heard some of the bigger ones there and just kind of curious what's that gonna make, because they're kind of wanting to be this whole in one media company, stop entertainment funsies, I guess. I don't know.
I'd actually forgotten about them until you brought them back up. I mean, I'd forgotten about Embracer Group and all that jazz. So
yeah, it's been a bit since we talked about them. Because it was them buying something else at the time too. It was kind of crazy. And then I just thought it was hilarious when I was flipping around last night. There was like some teasers about Dead Island 2, and I was just like, we're still doing that? I didn't know. Because it's been almost 10 years, right? I kind of thought we were just done. But I guess not. So, I mean, good for them.
Sure.
Still plugging away. They're like, damn it, this game's going to come out if it's the last thing we do. It's like generations old now for consoles. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be concerned that at this point it's going to just be a very dated game. By the time we get our hands on it, you're just like, yeah, no.
Well, who knows if they've just kept, I don't know. Maybe that's why it was taking so long, if they kept starting it over.
Yeah, true.
You know, like maybe that's the thing. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I just thought it was interesting when I was flipping through last night. I was like, oh, look at you. Still plugging away. You're still going to make this happen. And you know what? Good. You know?
I mean, hey,
hopefully it's great. That's all I hope. For all of this struggle busing and how long it's been taking, I just hope it's good. You never want it to be shit when someone's put in so much work like that, you know? And 10 years worth almost at this point. 2014-ish? Yeah?
Yeah, because I remember seeing the trailer for it at a PlayStation E3 event in the theater. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah. So it's been a while since I've been to one of those.
It's been a while, yeah. Yeah, that was it. Those were the two things that caught my eye this week. Where I was like, holy crap, you know.
Okay.
That was kind of worth it, anyway, to bring up.
I know that we had already gotten past this, but the show doesn't
we don't have a format.
We don't have structures anymore. God damn it, we're just talking about whatever crosses our mind. I meant to ask you because I want to know if you watched it, and I think you'll enjoy it. Genuinely do if you haven't. Have you watched She-Hulk?
No.
Watch it.
Hobbs was telling me the other day he was starting it, and I was just like, I don't know.
Watch
if it was what I wanted to watch. Okay, so I should go back and watch it?
Yeah, definitely watch it. I think you will love it.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to give it a shot.
Yeah.
No, did you did you see that there was 2 new drops for Sandman? Just isolated standalone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the second one, does that shut some people up now?
Like about...
Did you watch them?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you were telling me people were complaining that he had like a gay personality, which I had no idea what they were talking about because I didn't remember sexuality or any of that coming up in any of the prior episodes. So I guess he at least liked a chick at one time. There you go. For all of you people who were hating about it. I don't know.
I think it was just the fact that there were just gay people in general.
I think they're just gods. I think gods just, are they supposed to be... you know, how is a god act? How does a god present?
Yeah.
What is a god into? Is it really gendered? I don't know. I feel like that was something people were just making up. Because, like, you told me, and then I was like, what do you mean? Why? How did that come up at all?
Even there was an episode, episode 3 or 4, when he went to Hades and he ran into that one lover from way back when.
I guess I had forgotten about that because I was trying to put it in my head, like, where did anybody get the idea sexuality was even a part of this story? And then, okay, maybe that was it.
It's just people.
I mean, it has to be because I honestly don't know where you were pulling it from, or I'm just stupid. I don't know.
You know that now that you mention it, there was. I can't remember, and I'm not going to try to dig it up unless it just pops back in my head. But I remember seeing something ignorant like that on Twitter, of all places. Wouldn't you know it?
Of course. That's probably where they all go. Yeah.
And it was just one of those eye-rolling. It's like, God, come on, dude. Just shut up. You know, that kind of thing. And hell, I can't remember what it was. Twitter, there's so much garbage on Twitter. So
I liked them. I hope
Yeah.
we get more of it. And I would be totally fine with it being just standalone stories like that, where it doesn't necessarily have to have an overarching storyline. But I like it.
Well,
I
see,
think I'm really enjoying that dude's portrayal of Morpheus.
oh, yeah.
With me having, now I had nothing built up on how they were supposed to be ahead of time because I never read the books or anything.
Mhm.
But I've enjoyed their portrayal
Yeah.
very much.
I think that what they did here, like with that standalone episode, that's actually reminiscent of the comics from what I remember. There were certain stories that would just kind of venture off and do its own thing.
Yeah.
And then they'd come back to the regular narrative. Give me more of that. Yeah, I'm all
Yeah.
for it. You know, I love the main narrative. In fact,
Sure.
I don't know how you felt about it since we're already on the topic.
Yes.
For not to say that the latter half of the season was bad, but I felt like I was more intrigued by the first half. You know, like
Yeah.
it gripped me a little bit more.
I would say, I think there was just like one point, and I guess maybe this might be spoilery. I don't know for people, but where it seemed like he was bucking against too many different complications or things that were coming up, where you started to get just a little annoyed, where you're like, dude, can you just, you've been locked up a while, just chill for a minute and you know, talk it out, find out what's been going on. You know, when people write in that kind of attitude for people, I check out. Like, that's not interesting to watch. It's not heavily complicated. You're not really watching them work through anything. They're just being a jerk in the moment, you know? So I could see that there. But once we started seeing him traverse in his world, I mean, the fight in hell.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most creative things I'd ever seen, honestly, as far as the way that they told the story and presented it there.
And that's straight.
It was so cool.
That's-
It was so unique.
That's straight from the book too. Like verbatim almost.
So cool. So cool. So yeah, things like that it gripped me back again. But
Yeah. I
if
really
that was
enjoyed it.
what you thought you didn't like.
No, yeah, it was just there was something, I don't know what it was. It's like I said, it wasn't bad. I didn't feel like I was gripped to the television. Like I noticed that my mind would drift a little bit and be like, you know. But the first couple of episodes, like the first 4 or 5, I was just like,
they did put a lot very quickly, and I think maybe they were trying to rush through that part of the story to give us context so they could move on to the story they wanted to tell with Morpheus, maybe. So it did feel like the first few episodes were a lot more like fast. A lot of information was coming. So yeah, I could see that. Maybe they could have spread that out a little bit more or whatever.
I really enjoyed that episode where he met that man who wanted to live forever.
Oh, yeah.
Then they would just kept meeting every 100 years. I don't know.
I
That was
love
fascinating.
it. I hope that still goes on if they continue.
Yeah.
I just want him to still meet up with him every, like, well, you know. I guess how often would you do it? How many years would we span in the TV series? I guess probably wouldn't be 100. But no, that was a very fun storyline. Super fun.
Yeah.
Thought for sure, oh, we'll see. And it's like, no, this is great. Keep it up. What do you, I'll tell you about my life, man. Cool. Deal. You know? I think for myself personally, though, after probably a couple hundred, I'd be like, all right.
But at least he had his ups and downs. It wasn't all like,
True.
you know, riches and fame and all this other stuff. It was like, no. Shit got hard there for a little while, but by God, I'm going to keep going. And you know what? I think I'd kind of be in his boat. I don't know why. I just feel like I'd want to see more. Like I would always be striving for something more. And death is just like, get out of here. I don't have time for you. I've got things to do.
I feel like I'd waste so much more of it though.
Yeah,
I'd be
probably.
like, I've got the rest of my life, so I just be, being a piece of crap even more so than I am now.
Yeah.
But yes, I can see that. But who knows? After a while, I might just be like, you know what? I'm bored of this now.
Yeah. Could be.
Of course, I guess the time frame. You are seeing a lot of new cool shit and inventions starting to really start to roll through.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a hard call, I think, because at some point I think you would just be like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
I think
Everyone I've
I'm
ever
good.
known has died a couple of times now. That would be me. Be like, oh, I just going to stop getting to know people because you just get tired of that.
Yeah, because you couldn't have any real connections to anyone because eventually there's going to be that moment where people are like, you're not aging.
Right. Like you
know?
kind of have to move,
Yeah.
right? Leave.
You'd have to, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have to kind of make a plan every 10 years, maybe?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, you'd have to every
That
10,
seems-
15, 20 years. Yeah.
Because people can change in 10 years,
God.
let me tell you.
Trust me.
I mean,
yes.
look at pictures and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We see ourselves every single day, so it doesn't seem that bad until you look at an older man. I'm like, whoa. Yeah.
Oh, I've
sure.
seen pictures of me in my 20s.
Uh-huh.
I don't like looking at those pictures
Mm.
because I'm baby-faced and rotund.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
Definitely more of a hefty boy then.
and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
no, I don't like looking at those. But those are
That's fair. Mine's still about the same.
So, hey,
I bounced back. Anyway.
you've got a thing you want to
yes.
talk about.
I do. So you probably remembered me mentioning last week. I finally got the Steam Deck, a year in waiting. And when I got the notification, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and pull the trigger. I wasn't sure if I was going to when it came around. But
See, you did it too.
Exactly. So I do understand. That's why I was like, yeah. By the time it popped up, and mine said 17 hours left. So I was like, duh, yeah, okay. Because like I don't go anywhere. I know it sounds like a silly purchase for someone like me, but there was a lot of other things that it could run that was what was more intriguing to me at the time. So for this, what I'm going to talk about is there's plenty of reviews for the Steam Deck, and there's plenty of people much smarter than I that have video walkthroughs and things like that on what this does. So I'm just going to approach this as someone who's never really been familiar with Linux, trying to teach themselves how much they could do as far as older games that you might want to run on it and other things, and how easy it was for someone like me to figure out, having never been educated in using Linux ever before a day in my life. So I thought maybe if there was someone like me who was more interested in it, but all that other stuff's kind of daunting because you've just never played with it, then here you go. I'll let you know how easy it was for me to go through the things that I wanted to use it for. But I mean, first things first, it's for Steam, for sure. They make logging into Steam using your own account super easy. As soon as you load it up, that's the first thing it's going to ask you for is your Steam account and password. Although it took me a couple tries. I was getting a little annoyed with it when I first did it. So much so I went to look on Steam. I'm like, do I not know my username and password? Do I not understand? It finally went through. So that was hopefully just a hiccup in the matrix. So yeah, you load it up. Once you're into Steam, 100% they've made that easy. It goes right into your, as soon as you turn on the Steam Deck, no matter when it is, it's going to load you right into Steam. Nice. It's just what it does. And so as far as playing my Steam games, I wanted to test it a little bit. So I ran some Hellblade because that was a gorgeous game and I wanted to see how well Hellblade would run with my own eyeballs. I know other people have done, their own test on how well it can run some of their games and everything. But yeah, it was really, I think it almost looks nicer than my monitor because my monitor is so old that I think the clarity on this screen and everything as far as the finer details and stuff, I think is almost better, which is kind of hilarious. So I need a new monitor because my PC is definitely good enough that I need a monitor that can show it off. And so if you're wanting to use Steam, done. Easy, you're in, just load it up, and you won't even have to think about it again. I was more interested in, all of my older games. I would like, and I've been saying this for many years, a place where I could actually play all of those things again. Because the older I got, the fancier I got my PC, but then you almost kind of wished you had an older one again to play all of the stuff that's just lost to time, because either my PC is too fast for it, or you have to get this emulator or that emulator. And that's where I started to have to do a decent amount of research. So for the Linux screen is a much different layout. Like, you're used to seeing your little windows there and everything and just popping it open. It does whatever you want it to do. Not so much, but I think it's just getting familiar with what the applications were for this system. Now, I'm not saying that now I'm like, yay, I'm going to put Linux on my own PC. I understand it wholly now, and I'm going to make the switch. I just didn't want Windows clogging up the resources on my Steam Deck if I didn't have to. So I wanted to learn how to use it that way and utilize all of its cores for my games. So the Linux portion, again, just clicking around. I'm patient enough with that stuff where I'll click every button, I'll read what it says, and just kind of get an understanding of what's all in the system. That was the best way I've learned, is just doing things, and then through that repetition, I remember where to go. Because I had to look up how to get out of a full screen emulator. Yeah, that was me. I'm like pushing buttons going, okay, it's full screen. How do I get out of this? Like, there's got to be a way. So I did finally figure it out through the help of some, lovely humans online, because I had the game open for like a day. I'm like, how do I want to stop playing Godfather. Can I get out of the Godfather, please? And so we did find out if you just move your cursor over at the top, you can actually push some windows open and do that. And then also Steam, and I think the X button or whatever will make it shrink down. And I was like, phew, because you're panicking looking at this, and I hit every single button on this thing, and there's enough buttons. There's plenty of buttons. So pro tip, if you're like me, you want to take your cursor all the way to the upper left corner and push it down, and that'll actually open up the windows for you. So that was a fun tip that I needed. But the layout with the buttons, this was one thing. I don't know if my hands are necessarily the perfect for it. I don't even know if you can see. So we've got, your bumpers. There's also these back here on the back. Okay. There's like a 2 here, and then there's 2 on that side. And if I'm legit supposed to play like this, I don't know that I could do that. And what the layout that I'm talking about, I have my thumbs on the joysticks, guys. First finger on the bumper, second finger. And then, your ring finger and pinky is on those buttons. My pinky isn't strong enough to depress it from this position, personally. I haven't found a game yet that's utilized all of them, so maybe that'll make more sense when I come to a game that would actually utilize those back buttons, because I personally haven't yet found a need for them. They do back. This one, I believe, will let me go back, like if you're hitting the back arrow on a browser or something. And I believe I am talking about the left 4 button. Sorry, L4. But I haven't had a game yet use it. But I don't know that I would be able to, with my fingers, hold all of those buttons at the same time. Maybe you have massive hands. I have long fingers too, so just putting that out there. I don't have tiny hands. I have pretty long fingers, and that's pretty hard to reach.
Well, even from a gaming perspective, we don't typically use, 2 or 3 of our fingers. I mean, these maybe every once in a while, like your middle fingers, but your ring and your pinky finger.
And it just feels really weird.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the game would make me come down like this. Maybe. But if I ever come to a game where they're utilizing all of those buttons, I'll let you know. I'm sure other people have. I just hadn't found one yet. So as far as like the comfort of my grip, if I'm just playing it like normal and just not even pretending those buttons exist, not too bad. not too bad. Because it's not as light as I was expecting it to be, but it's not super heavy. So for me, I don't know that I could just for several hours with that. Because let's be real, we're all doing this in bed over our face.
Sure. Now,
I mean, unless other people have lives and they take it outside.
perhaps. I mean, there might be other people that do that.
Yeah, you know.
Now, compared to the Switch weight-wise, I mean, I can definitely tell size-wise it seems wider
it's a
and
big
bigger.
boy. Yeah.
But from a weight perspective, like how much heavier are we talking?
You know what? I should have actually did this side by side since I do have both. But I would say, like, I don't know the actual weight, but this one I would say definitely feels a considerable more heavy. And I think it's the bottom heavy because there's right here where it has for the grips. Whereas on the Switch, it's kind of more of that, well, they're lighter plastic dealios. Or if you're playing it docked, then, doesn't matter at all. But yeah, I would say the Switch is definitely a lot lighter. But this I still think is going to take it in the comfort level from just having those grips there that my fingers can settle into on the back is definitely a lot better than trying to force around on those little Joy-Cons on the sides of the Switch. And it almost feels like the entire screen itself was about as big as the entire Switch.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
So
I mean, it definitely looks beefier.
It's definitely a beefy boy. Definitely a beefy boy. And for its insides and stuff, for the cores and everything, I can imagine. Because it runs pretty fast. I mean, it's got, with the insides in there, 100% it's a travel PC. Somebody who really wants to take the time to, shouldn't take the time. If you're stupid easy with Linux and you've born in this stuff, since you've been jailbreaking your iPhone since it was a thing, you could probably find all sorts of really cool uses for it that wouldn't even come to mind for me, just because of how fast it is and all the things you can load onto it. But the button layout, pretty good. The one I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy is there's these little pads that are on the sides. And I don't know if you can even tell in the dark here. I know I'm trying to show Steven like we're having a conversation here. Because I was like, what do you do with that? What's that even going to be useful for? I actually ended up using them a lot more than I thought I would because it's like a cursor. It's like using your mouse. So for someone like me who is more used to playing on PC that doesn't do a lot of console gaming that would require joysticks and all that stuff, that was a lifesaver. Because I could use the D-pad and then just kind of use this for the mouse and move it around instead of having to use the joystick or anything like that. And it was glorious. So actually, it's probably one of my favorite things is having those little trackpads right there as someone who is more used to PC. Like, it just made more sense for me to aim with that when I was doing a shooter, which I played Aperture Desk Job, which was a Valve game made specifically for the Steam Deck. It's like a 30-minute experience. Super cute. It's kind of the same thing that Valve always does where they have their little robots and taking you through a thing. As I was playing it, though, special extra treat for me because I didn't know this was going to be a thing. I don't know if you know who Nate Bargatze is. He's a comedian, I think from Nashville, as he says. From Nashville?
Huh.
Anyway,
Nashville.
Love him. Yeah, I love him. And he was the voice. And I was just like, as I was listening to him, I'm like, I know that voice. And then sure enough, as he kept going, I'm like, that's totally him. So yay, a special treat for me that I didn't know I was going to get. But you're basically, it does utilize all of the things. So that's the reason why I wanted to play that. It's a free game. I was like, I bet they're going to utilize all of the buttons to kind of take you through a walkthrough of it. So I recommend that. Aperture Desk Job if you're just getting a new Steam Deck. 30 minutes is all it takes. It's literally just him walking you through how to, we're checking toilets and making sure they're good. But it's still there. Oh, you got to hit this button, hold that button, hold the right trigger while you do this. And so it was a nice little experience of just trying to learn what all the buttons can do mapped in this way. Now, what I really wanted to try it for was the emulations and stuff like that for myself personally, because I have a lot of older games that I do actually have like some ISOs of, ROMs of, and I want to play them again. So that's what I'm supposed to say. Technically, You know, it does come with a bunch of emulators. If you have your own BIOS files, just dump them in there and you're legally good to go. And then I'll just leave it from there because
Okay.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, because it really kind of depends on which one. So I had a hell of a time personally with Super Nintendo, guys. Someone's probably gonna go,
Okay.
what do you mean? You just use this program and it worked? Yeah, I did just use that program. Okay, and I did put that in there. And I got everything to run, mapped the buttons even. I was so proud of myself. I was getting somewhere. But the games itself, I couldn't get to use the button presses in the game itself. I could get it to start. I could move the character, but it wouldn't punch. It wouldn't do anything. So I tried with my Ninja Turtles game 2 that I had from that era, and still nothing. I could finally map it to the D-pad, and because I mean we didn't have near as many buttons, right? So I'm trying to map it with what makes sense for the controllers. Well, Super Nintendo. Anyway, I'm digressing, but I had a rough time with ROMs. And just if you're not familiar, ROMs are more for the cartridges, where it's taking like your cartridge-based games from their memory and putting it on there. Now, the ISOs, no trouble at all. All of those are from like CD-ROMs. And that was stupid easy because I can even burn my stuff and make my ISO file and dump it into whichever program that you're wanting to use it for. And it beautifully. PSP, beautiful, easy, got it to run, no problem. Was playing some of the Godfather and PSP for a little bit and actually ran pretty well. Yeah, it was where you're basically playing the movie.
Nice.
It was the movie.
Yeah.
Basically,
I love that game.
I thought of you as I was loading it up. I was like, this is one of his favorites, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It worked great. It was beautiful. And I was like, oh, all these games that I used to have that I haven't been able to play in a long time, I could now actually use them. And if I wanted to, I can cast it to another screen or, use your TV if you wanted to. Like, you can actually use it for all of that stuff as well, which is what I thought was super neat about it. And especially for when we do go travel, it's like I kind of have all the stuff I wish I could bring with me when I travel in downtime. Now I have it.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what was kind of cool for me. Now, the on-screen keyboard. This is kind of garbo. I'm going to push back on this keyboard because once you bring it up, it's a touch screen. I probably could move the D-pad and select that as well. Wow, does sometimes it just not want to hit the letter I want. And I'll do it a few times and I'll go kind of quickly. And then when you're searching and then you realize, oh, that letter didn't go in and you're fighting with it. So I'd love some tweaks on that. I don't know how you can make that feel the button presses better if you're using the touch screen, but it's kind of frustrating.
I bet.
It's kind of frustrating. So thumbs down on their on-screen keyboard as of right now. There's, I'm sure, some other updates. Maybe other people are just using the D-pad and telling me to stop using the touchscreen lace, but it's a feature that I should be able to utilize. It's there, right? So let's make it better. So outside of that, the battery life, actually not terrible.
Okay.
But if it's your sole gaming thing, you're probably going to be sad if you game a long time. I ran it for about 4 to 5 hours and I was at about 19% left at the end of all of that. So I would say you could probably go 6, and it's going to depend on how heavy of the game with the resources, because this puppy can get a little warm too. So when I was playing some bigger games on it, it was definitely getting fairly hot. And I did kind of remember reading a little bit about how it was heating in some cases, and then some people giving some really bad advice on how to fix that. And then the Steam people are like, please don't do that, you're going to break it. So I guess I shouldn't complain because I don't play anything super, super, super taxing. But I did notice with the PSP games, it was definitely heating up a little bit on me. So if you're the type that likes to leave it on your lap, probably going to have a bad time. But if you're just holding it up, like I imagine regular people do with handhelds, you'll probably be fine. It never got so hot for me that I was scared that I was ruining it or something was going wrong. But I do know it's had some updates since I read that, so that had addressed that particular issue. So that might be why I don't seem to notice it as bad. Maybe it has been addressed and been fixed. So I say, if you're someone like me that was kind of a little worried about the Linux portion of it, I don't think you should be. I'm actually more curious now. It's making me want to go learn it to put it on maybe my regular PC.
Sure.
It's just, it takes so much less processes than Windows does. And granted, I have a fast enough PC that it doesn't matter yet. You know, like, I'm sure there will come a point where it's going to have to upgrade again, the way tech moves so fast and everything. That I'd just be curious how much different things would run without having so many resources being dedicated to just running Windows by itself, you know? And that's the biggest reason why I don't want to download it on the deck. I wanted to learn it without that. Now you have to have an internet connection, so keep that in mind as well. If you have like Garbo Wi-Fi and stuff, it might be a bad time if you're having to wait for all those to download. I actually did get the bigger model. Everyone can yell at me if you want. I wanted the case. I wanted the 512 hard drive space, you know, and the SD card is super easy though. And especially for all your ROMs and stuff, if that's what you want to use it for, they're usually not big enough. So the SD card is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So I've just been putting it on that, and it's been running from the card just fine. Like, I haven't noticed it being laggy or skipping or anything running from the SD card as opposed to the internalized hard drive. So, you know, that might vary from person to person, but I didn't put my ISOs on the SD. I just moved those on directly to the deck. So I didn't notice a difference when I was using my ISOs versus my micro SD for the ROMs.
Right.
It seemed like it was running just fine for me. And then the other thing that I do want to kind of try with it here is I do want to cast it and see if we can get it running that way. And also there was a couple of other little things on the Linux program that I saw that I want to put on there and see if that's helpful for like talking with Bluetooth and stuff from my PC to this one. So there are some like things now that I think I'm like, well, let's just play now and see what I can do. But was it insanely easy? Not at first. Like, I'm glad I had the extra week because I did have to go through some. Well, I mean, I used emulators on PC.
Yeah.
That usually always worked out very nice and easy for me. Like, I'd have like a DOS box or something. But with this, there's several. So, like, you kind of need your PSP emulator. You need your Nintendo emulator. PlayStation 2, as long as you got your own BIOS files from the one you bought, you'll be okay. But you're going to have a much rougher time with Sony 2 and up titles. Unless you legitimately own them like you're supposed to. I know I'm kind of dancing around it and all this kind of stuff, but you know, you're supposed to own them.
Yeah, you know? legal stuff.
Yeah, that's up to you. But you know, my feelings on games that are super old that aren't sold anymore. Sometimes these companies don't even exist anymore. So get off my back if I'm downloading their game.
Right.
Like Lion's Head.
Yeah.
They folded. If I want to download Black and White and play it, leave me alone. That's how I look at it. Unless you want to put their company back together again and sell it to me so I can do it the right way. Otherwise, whatever.
Yeah. Use
it your own comfort level. How comfortable are you grabbing shit from the internet like that and then trusting it, of course.
Sure.
But honestly, when it came to that was pretty easy too, because I didn't realize it's just good old Mozilla Firefox on there. Most of us are familiar with that. I didn't know what kind of browser I was going to get I was just hoping it wasn't garbage like Microsoft Edge.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if like it had their own, you know, but I was like, I use Mozilla. Fine. That's cool. So it ended up just being like a regular PC. I just kind of looked it up and did all that on there. I mean, it is a PC.
Yeah.
And since I have my nice little trackball and everything, and the anti-glare glass on the higher model, I definitely recommend as well. I didn't think that would be that cool, but when I had work done on our electrical here this week, so there was a day I had no power, so I just kind of sat in the backyard, and messed around with it a little bit more then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that it wasn't like getting all of the glare from the sun and everything out there. Now, I'm not saying you should be sitting directly in the sun when you're playing it, but the sun moves, when you're out there for a few hours. And so, I very much recommend it. And even if you're just in your house, I wasn't seeing like the glare from lights, your lamps and stuff just coming off of it. Even right now when I'm doing this, I have to point it directly to the light. So I definitely recommend that. It's nice to not have that. That's up to you if you feel like springing for that. And then also the case was something that I think would be very important in this one. Now, you don't have to get their case. I've seen other cases online, actually nicer than this one. So, but they're not in stock anymore, some of them that I'd seen. But so, I mean, you don't have to. They have nicer ones.
Sure.
But the case itself, I really liked. It's nice hardback. It comes with all of the divots and everything that's needed. So it sits nice, neat, and comfortable in there. Has, little storage in the back for your cords. So I definitely recommend at least getting a case because this is so beefy, and with those joysticks, I mean, if you're traveling around with it, man, I don't know how you're going to carry it otherwise. And it does have a little handle, so hey. But you can find some online that I've seen that were much nicer, like even with compartments on the inside for a bunch of stuff where I was like, damn, you outdo Valve, do you? But the only other complaint I would have is just Valve, make the unboxing an event. Some people really enjoy the unboxing and all of the different fun stuffs that you could flip through and read. And you sent it to me in a brown box that when I opened it was just the case. And like, look, that's fine. I'm not going to complain like I didn't get my stuff, but like, you could have made that a little bit more fun. It's an experience, and you're asking for a lot of money from these people. Yeah. I don't know. I know it's a very, very small gripe, but hell, even PlayStation was more fun to open up and flip through for the PlayStation 5, Yeah. And Valve, if you're going to keep sending it FedEx, can you not put what it is on the outside of the box? Just saying.
Don't do that.
I was a little worried that I wasn't going to get it. Because, like, on the outside of the box, it does say Valve and has, like, the little symbol on it. Now, it's just a plain brown box outside of that. But if you read it...
Yeah.
And I'm sure if enough of those have been going out, some people would be hip to what it is. I just help your customers out in a day and age of where people's electronics are getting ripped off from them left and right, Just don't make it marked like that. I mean, because it's in a perfectly long box, Valve. Yeah. So thankfully, my person left it. But I have seen and heard horror stories, and now I kind of understand why. You're just kind of like, hey, this is a Steam Deck, shove it out the door. And then, I mean, I don't want to talk complete garbage about FedEx, but so yeah. But yeah, I think that's about all I could, that's all I could think of to chat about. I'm really interested to start diving into some of the ones that have more of the utilities for the entire thing. But yeah, I've been enjoying learning the Linux system. I've been enjoying getting just some stuff from my childhood running that I never ever thought I'd get to see again. And I love that it's all in one spot. I'm not having to carry all of the discs, the cartridges, and put all that. As long as I get everything burned over, I'm good to go. I'm in a one-stop shop. The SD card pulls nicely from it. I didn't notice any drops for my games using it that way. And heck, if you wanted to get the little dock, I think you can hook it up to just a regular old keyboard and all of that kind of stuff too, and use it that way. So, really genius people could find some really amazing uses outside of what I wanted it for, which was my one-stop shop for all of my older games. Wanted to learn Linux. And then, hell, when you travel, it's just fun to actually be able to play your PC games, which you've never really been able to do on the go before.
True.
So, yeah, I think that's a wrap on my thoughts on the Steam Deck.
All right.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you if you're wanting one and get the notification and you're like me, maybe this will help you out. Just know some of them, like especially if you're wanting from like the Sony and stuff, if you're like me and wanted to just put all of your like older PS2 and 3 games on there and stuff, you might have a harder time unless you get your own BIOS files from the system.
Mm-hmm.
And Godspeed on figuring that out. I actually don't know how to do that one yet.
Do you remember when we used to be able to buy video game consoles brand new at the store? Remember that? And then we didn't. Remember that when we didn't have to like wait for notifications that one would be available?
Oh yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
But if they were sold out, you had to wait.
But
well,
still,
even
they
the
were
game
never sold out that fast, that much, that long.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the last huge push that I saw of something like that was, well, look, maybe GTA 5 in like 2009.
Yeah.
Because I can remember even seeing freaking advertisements on the L when I'd be taking the train. And I'm like, really? On the train, there's the GTA 5. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we did run out.
That's why I go digital, baby. You ain't got to worry about.
Yeah, but
missing out.
there's that other side of it too. Then
I
once
know.
it's gone, it's gone. Because if Steam goes down one day, nothing lasts forever, right? Something's bound to happen. Steam will fold, sell something. I mean, Gabe Newell's not going to live forever. 100 reasons could go wrong. Do you think I'm going to see any of that again?
Maybe not.
All that thousands and thousands of dollars.
But hey, that's all the more reason just to do the subscription model, right? And we just rent our games out and pay a subscription fee just like we do our movies. And just
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that too. I don't know. There's still that little piece of me with the preservation part that
Sure. No,
I
I
wish
agree.
there was a better way to preserve some of the older titles. And while again, I know you're not supposed to steal them or whatever off of line, but when it's coming from these companies, like I was just saying, they've folded, they're no longer in operation. If it's gone on the archive database, for crying out loud, like it has no home anymore. Yeah, I'm all for people grabbing those up and preserving it. And thank you for those who have already done it and put it online.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now we know we can at least always get to it. So really and truly, when it's titles like that, I encourage it wholeheartedly. I feel like a lot of those are treasured. They're an ephemeral thing. And if we just let it go, it's lost to time, man. And then never to be seen again. And I just, no, don't do that to someone's work.
Sure. Look at you being advocating criminal acts.
for older games that you can't buy anymore, abso-freaking-lutely do it. Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't have it. Who am I screwing over?
Well,
The company doesn't exist. There's no money's being had anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, Nintendo would beg to differ.
Well, then sell it to me, Nintendo. I'm not opposed to it. You
But
just don't want to sell it to me.
If we just hold back and make you want it more, you'll really want to buy it when the time comes. So we're just not going to give it to you right now.
That's fine, Disney. But they do that too with their pets.
They do.
But yeah, screw you though. Like if there's a way to actually purchase it and I could give the developer money, sure. If they don't exist anymore, I don't see how I'm screwing anyone over anymore.
I agree.
I don't believe they had residuals back in the day for all of that.
No, there's,
You know.
it's gone. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
no one's making money off this.
No. So for me personally, that's what I really wanted the deck for. And then a lot of my older CD-ROM games from PC that just I can't get running anymore because, believe it or not, things just got too fast for some of it. And Windows 10, maybe 11, I've still been avoiding downloading that one. But its old backwards compatibility feature just doesn't work. I don't know why they put it in there anymore. It worked in XP. It worked on Windows 7. I feel like as soon as we got to 8 and 10, the backwards compatibility feature just like it's a fancy button there to make me feel like I did something, but doesn't actively do anything. So I need to start transferring all of my stuff over because it's just going to be gone. And I do own them. They're sitting in this closet back here with a curtain over it, like in bins. So I do have them. It's just taking the time to do it all.
Too fair.
I mean, I did some, obviously, for this here, but not all of them, no.
Right.
We'll just say that.
Just say that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I recommend it. Not necessarily the larger model if you're wanting to save a couple of bucks, because again, I think it ran off the SD card just fine. But yeah, there you go. I don't know how quick it is to get anymore.
Oh,
they are starting to go out though. So I was August last year, I think, is when I put down my $5. And so I've had it for 2 weeks now. Once you got the notification and ordered it, I had it in a few days.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all. I think it was like 2 to 3 days. And I kept an eye on it too.
Well, next time
I was scared.
next summer trip we meet, you're gonna have to bring it along so I can check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And by then I'll probably have all sorts of fun stuff on there to play around, because I'll have more time to have figured it out. Because I definitely, there's so much more uses that I haven't dove into yet that I'm excited to learn, and only had so much time. But that's our show, I guess. Yeah. So you can hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash, or go over to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Steven puts his time and love into. You can also send us an email to supermegacrash@gmail.com and support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app, and even going to patreon.com/pencil and paper productions. And for more tomfoolery and lots of fun, go to youtube.com/pencil and paper productions. We got some fun stuff coming. You should hit that sub button. And we suck at Discord. We got a little better this week.
Yeah, we're getting better.
Look at us making conversation in there a couple of times. And you can help make us better by joining our Discord. Links in the description below. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Lacey Finley.
I am Stephen White.
And you can join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.